Okay, well, I think it's fair to start a couple of minutes early since we've got some people here hanging out, and I appreciate you guys for doing that. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Hopefully everything here looks and sounds as good as we can expect it to, being here on a streaming platform and whatnot. So how's it going? Hope you're all doing well. It's been busy. It's been a busy week. In fact, it's been a busy month. Really, it's been a busy month. Vaz, Collins, both here hanging out in chat. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, you guys will notice this month I haven't really put out much content other than doing the weekly live stream, and I think 2 videos, maybe 3 videos so far this month with house guests, and then getting house guests for like 3 weeks. And then all of this week was just getting caught up with appointments and meetings and all kinds of stuff. That's an annoying one. So no, it's just been exhausted. And I think the kid has brought a bug in from his daily activities. Kids are gross, and I think he's brought in yet another bug that the wife and I are trying to fight off in its early stages. So yeah, it's been a month. But I'm hoping to get back on track in the upcoming weeks. I'm so far behind on content right now. Sorry, notification on the phone. I think it's just me it's email telling me, yeah, that I'm live. So there you go. I'm glad to know that I am live. I'm glad my system was able to tell me that. It's all cool. The Super Mario shirt makes up for it. Well, I appreciate that. There's actually like stuff on the back as well. There's this new trend or something about like the labels being like swapped in different places and whatnot. So I don't even know, but it was a cheap shirt. I got it at Ross or something, and I like it. And it's a good heavy duty shirt. I always appreciate that. Jason Budney says, good morning all, and Nighthawk says, yay. Nighthawk has been busy doing, stuff, but apparently it's been, the weather has prevented him from touching grass, so he's going to hang out with us at least for a little while, I think, this morning. So happy to see a bunch of familiar faces here hanging out with me on a Saturday. Yeah, no, just been trying to get caught up on life. Like I said, this whole last week was just one appointment or one meeting after another, and it's exhausting. It's been exhausting over the last few weeks. So, but I got some stuff done, which I'm super excited about. In the past we've talked about, like what's going on in my server rack behind me. People have asked about power usage and that sort of thing. And for the longest time, it's been running at like 350 to 400 watts. And this week I managed to get that down to like 250, which I'm super excited about. I'm actually planning on making a video, hopefully soon, to kind of talk about what's going on back here. I've been putting that video off for a while. People, like when I did the what am I hosting video, people asked, well, what am I hosting it on? And I've been working on this plan to change some things up for a couple of reasons. Where I live, we're about to go to like surge pricing on power. Of course, between like 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock at night when everybody's getting home. Which sucks. I'm in a fortunate position with my family that we're kind of always home, so we're not hitting the grid real hard like after we get home from work or whatever, right? So we're fortunate in that regard, but we're still going to hit with surge pricing in the evenings. So one of the things I wanted to do was reduce my power consumption where I could, and the HL15 has been a beast for the time I've had it. It still works. Everything is fine. But even at idle, it was drawing like 120 watts with it doing nothing. Like just the motherboard, CPU, RAM, an idle GPU and 2 hard drives was idling at like 120-ish watts. which is not an insignificant amount of power. So I switched everything over from the HL15 to the ZimaCube. I don't even know if you can see it right there. And it's got 6 8-terabyte drives in it, and then a boot drive, which is an NVMe drive, and then it's got 3 500 gig NVMe drives running in a RAID Z1, and the 6 8-terabyte drives I split up weird. So 2 of them are just another RAID Z1 for 8 terabytes of storage. And then the other 4 got passed through to a TrueNAS VM, where I'm managing all of my storage that way. And I always thought that was silly, but now I kind of get it. So yeah, like if we take a look over here, this is my Prox Cube, just the ZimaCube with Proxmox 906 on it. And it's been up and running really well for about 4.5 days. So I switched everything over to this. This maxes out at 220 watts, so it can't go anywhere near what the HL15 did. And then the other thing I did was so I've still got kind of like right there where my thumb is. I've got a DS1621XS Plus from Synology that I've had for years. It's still running all the time. And then up at the top, I've got a TerraMaster and another Synology that are running backups. And those were always on as well. So I took down the HL15. I'm sure I'll find other uses for it later, or something. And I've got the 2 NASs up at the top set to power on at certain times for a certain amount of time, so that the Synology right there and the the Prox Cube can do their backups as necessary. So it will still spike periodically to do certain backups and that sort of thing. But for the most part, again, I brought it down from like 400 watts to like 230 to 250, and I'm really happy about that. And it was kind of nerve-wracking to go through that process. Like I've got, if we look here, like, I installed this. This can actually go now. The Data Center Manager was how I moved some of the stuff from the HL15 over to the Prox Cube, but certain things just wouldn't move. So I ran fresh backups of those things, and then just went over, to the. Well, that's interesting. Why isn't that connected? Huh? Not working. Why are we seeing? That's weird. Oh, that's the 923. The 923 is offline. I'm really dumb. Sorry. So all my backups get run daily. I've got it set to store 5. But basically, I ran backups of the stuff that wouldn't move over automatically with Data Center Manager. Ran new backups on the HL15, and then pulled those backups over from here. And so that's my backup strategy. I'm actually I changed my backup strategy too a little bit. I figured out why I was having some issues with my NASs up here not shutting down properly. It's because I was running VMs on them without the agent. And so the VMs running would stop the NAS from shutting down, which is great, except that I'm stupid sometimes. So now all of my backups are being done with SMB CIFS shares. I had seen people mention that in previous videos where I was talking about some of this stuff, and I was like, I would rather do it this other way, and they're like, but, and I was like, but, and they were like, but, and I was like, well, I'm just going to do it my way. And then I realized I didn't need the Proxmox VMs running to make this work just as effectively. So now I'm doing all of my backups to the NAS over SMB CIFS. So I don't need the VMs running. So these can actually shut off when I want them to automatically, and then of course turn back on based on the schedule that I set up. So I'm still in the process of testing that, but But yeah, so now I've just got the Prox Cube and the DS1621XS Plus running all of the time. Again, that's like 230 watts. The Prox Cube has we come over to here. Snapshots where hardware actually has my ARC A310 right there running for transcoding. So it's all working really well so far, and I'm super happy about it. If you guys follow me on social media, you may have seen my post where I set up TrueNAS, and I'm sure I screwed that up. I'm sure there's a lot of things I could have done better. But you know, it worked. The night that I actually was working on getting this TrueNAS instance up and running, Collins had sent me a link on what he found to be a great solution to make passing through hard drives very, very easy. And he was right, except that I passed one drive through. In fact, it was this drive. I remember that drive. I passed this drive through twice. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 2 in my list. And I couldn't create a pool in TrueNAS. And it took me like an hour and a half to figure out what I had done wrong. But then once I passed through the right drive, everything's been great since then. I don't even know. Let me see. It's on 57. 168.0.57. I'm still trying to remember my new IP addresses for some of this because it's new stuff. That was the wrong password. There we go. So this is my TrueNAS instance. Let me see if I'm zoomed out. I am zoomed out. All right. And if we come over to storage, we can see I've got a RAID Z1 4 wide with a total usable capacity of about 21 terabytes, which is fine. Works really well. I've just got my media on here. Like this TrueNAS instance is just to serve my media. Everything happens now on device rather than going over the network, and I love that. And then if we go into like my data sets, you can see all of the different data sets that I've got there. And I actually love this. I love that the data sets show me how much media is in each data set. That is one area where I feel like NASA's seem to fall short, is they don't actually show you how much data is in each folder without right-clicking, going to properties, that sort of thing. So let's see, I've missed some stuff. Borg Swarm says, what's up, TB Tech and crew? Happy Saturday. Mandy says, good evening. Jason says, nice reduction of power. Yeah, I'm real happy with it. I'm real happy with all of that. Now it's just going to take, a couple of weeks to burn in, so to speak, to make sure I'm comfortable with everything. Vaz says, that's a nice change. It will save you power for sure. I'm right now in the process of moving data as well, changing all spinning hard drives to solid state. Man, wouldn't that be something? I would love to do that, but I do not have that kind of pull in the storage realm, nor do I have that kind of money. So that's awesome. I'm really hoping that works out for you. Will hopefully save me a lot of money on. We're talking about close to 4. You're gonna have 4 petabytes of solid state storage, dude. That's bonkers. I am genuinely envious of that. What else we got here? JD's here, says, what's up? Colin says he loves the consolidation. Jason's like, I wish I could do the same. I don't blame you, man. That's crazy. Yeah, the VMs won't turn off without the tools. Yeah, there was a... Sorry, I'm listening. It's fine. Yeah, without the guest tool, it wouldn't work. That's why I use a controller card with all my drives. Yeah, somebody else had mentioned that somewhere along the line. I just wasn't comfortable doing it that way because the backplane that I've got, it's just a single cable to the backplane in the ZimaCube. So I just passed individual drives through. If I had, put more effort or thought in or whatever, I probably could have passed that through and then virtualized other stuff, but it was just easier for me to do it this way with my comfort level and that sort of thing. But yeah, if I had been, again, I'm still learning a lot of this stuff, right? Like, and I genuinely appreciate the input you guys give me, because it gives me ideas for how I can do things better in the future. Unrated and true SVM on a single host. Went with HBA instead for simplicity. Yeah, honestly, the ZimaCube is kind of stupid in a couple of the things that it does. In fact, I might be able to show something. Oops, I need to see if I can find the image. Because I took a picture a while back of it when somebody was asking me, and I don't remember if it got backed up. Nope. Yeah, I thought it might have been UJD, but my brain is so dumb these days. Here we go. I think this is it. I think this is the picture I'm looking for. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm not. Basically, like, this is the top of the ZimaCube, like, obviously looking down, right? This is the cable that goes from the motherboard down to the backplane. It's just this little 4-pin thing here, and I know this is for power. There's another cable, I think, somewhere else. There's got to be, I don't remember, but it's not ideal, right? And so there's no SATA ports here. Like, I've got another slot over here where I could have probably put an HBA or something, and managed that differently, but not easily, because again, the backplane that's down below isn't great. This is a very proprietary system that's not ideal in the real world, but again, the whole unit, the power supply on it's only goes to like 220 watts. So there's no way it can max out anywhere close to like what the HL15 does. So I've been working on that a lot this week, making sure that all of everything has been up and working appropriately. And that's taken up a whole bunch of my time. And then also, maybe I got pictures of it. Maybe, let me see. Yeah, there's more than one way to get what you need done. Absolutely. And then also this week, so back in 2019, I built my wife and I built a matching systems for my wife and myself. We got a big tax return a few years ago, and so I built systems because we had very old systems at the time. So we had matching Ryzen 5 2600 systems with like 16 to 32 gigs of RAM, and RTX 2070s. And because of the position I'm in, I've been fortunate enough to get new hardware from different companies and that sort of thing to upgrade my system along the way. I've got a pretty decent system in there. I game on, no issues, absolutely love it. But then here recently had an idea that I wanted to build her a new system. So I started playing around with some ideas to build a new system for her, or a new setup for her for gaming. She games way more than I do. So I came up with a solution, and I'm going to share it with you here in just a moment. Let's do this. There we go. The picture I'm going to show you, I want to preface this, it doesn't look like this now. She's got a new shelf in there. It's much cleaner. It's much more cable organized. There's no dust. We've cleaned this. This is just to give you an idea of what I'm doing, or what I did, rather. So this is an AUStar Gem 12 mini PC with a Ryzen 9 6900HX, I believe. I could be mistaken on that. 32 gigs of RAM in there. And then right here, we've got an Oculink cable that comes out the front and goes down to this Minis Forum GPU dock that I bought. And then I threw an RX 7600 XT GPU in here with 16 gigs of VRAM. And I tested it for days, playing things like Cyberpunk 2077 and Fallout 4. Those are a couple of her favorite games. And it walks all over those. Like, she's been having a really good time with that. But we gotta upgrade her. She's on Windows 10 currently. I installed that years ago for her. And she's been having a lot of crashing issues from years and years of updates and just sometimes you got to do a clean install. So my plan is I actually pulled a Windows 11, so I've got an old system laying around here somewhere. I don't know where I put it. No idea where I put it. Anyway, it was out of a unit that was dead, that I had swapped the drives out of. So anyway, I've got a Windows 11 drive that I'm going to throw into this system right here. We'll move some things around, and then she won't lose her games or her files or any of that sort of stuff. So it's again, we've re-cable managed everything and rebuilt this corner, so it's much more organized and clean. But this just trounces anything she throws at it. As far as games are concerned, so should be a solid system for her. Now she's got more VRAM on her gaming system than I do, having this RX 7600 XT with 16 gigs. Just a great little card. I say a little card. It's bigger than the PC it's plugged into. But she's been enjoying it. It's been going pretty well for her. So that's what I've been up to this week. Since our last live stream. Let me scroll back up. I have missed some stuff. Sven is here. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate seeing you here. Going back up a little farther, Nighthawk says it's the interface cable at the bottom left where you yeah, and it's not the most ideal of situations with the Zima Cube, with it being such a proprietary setup, which is their thing, and it's fine. But if you're trying to do something super custom, the Zima Cube is not for you. The HL15 might be more your speed if you want to drop that kind of cash on customizing a system, or you can just buy a case and throw some hardware in it. Whatever makes sense for you. Tom Stubby says I have two eSATA 8-bay DAS boxes connected to one of my servers through an eSATA card for the VM NAS one time it worked for. Wow, I've thought about doing something like that, but I don't think I've got any hardware other than the HL15 that might have eSATA on it. Mandy says, wow, looks good, thank you, appreciate it. Sven says, sorry I'm late, man, no worries. Not at all. We've just been kind of kicking around and chatting about stuff as far as what I've been up to this week. Cool setup. Couldn't do that, stupid cat. Dude, we've got a few cats. It's the nature of the beast. I should actually show you guys something that I got. Let me see if I'm logged in over here. Am I? I am logged in. Holy cow. Let me see if I can find the thing I got. No fan. I don't remember. Oh, I'll never find it. Did I buy it somewhere else? Anyway, I got one of those Drake fan duster. Yeah, basically I got one of these. I got one of these a while back, and it just works really, really well. I've been really happy with it. Like, it's got, in fact, it might even be this one. No, it's not. It's close to this one, but it's got all these little brush attachments, and you can like get in and work stuff out. Works really well. So I'm really happy with that. So I'm not as worried about getting cat hair and that sort of thing in there. With it being front and center, you'll have to look at it, so it'll be more of a reminder. Spence select the setup. Appreciate it. Just be sure to upgrade before October the 13th. Yeah. Like I said, I've got the disc already. It's ready to go. It's on my desk in there. I've been so busy with stuff over the last few weeks. I haven't had a chance. Or switch to Linux. We talked about that actually. I don't know if she's ready for that kind of a jump in interfaces yet. JD says, I want to go to Linux gaming. Battlefield 6 isn't on Linux. And that's the problem. There's a lot of games that aren't on Linux yet. And that's the other thing. So I'm going to stick with Windows for a little while longer. Hopefully like SteamOS will come out in a full like functional release at some point. And then we'll take a look at something like that. But for right now, we're just going to stick with Windows. Like going from 10 to 11 is not really that bad if you do all of the disabling Microsoft's crap along the way. Mandy says that's the better choice, to be honest. Single player games are generally okay there. Yeah, generally. But then there's issues with drivers and especially GPU drivers. It shouldn't be as big of a deal with her having the AMD card. But I know that the NVIDIA has been less than desirable with regards to open sourcing their drivers enough for Linux. Vaz says now she's got more VRAM than me, as she should. Happy wife, happy life. Yeah. And again, like I said, she does more gaming than I do. Like I casually game from time to time. She's got more than 3,000 hours on Fallout 4 and a couple thousand hours, I think, on Cyberpunk 2077. Like, she is dedicated to some games. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. She's pretty happy. We're all pretty happy. More of a Debian fan. I like my VMs. My LXCs are Debian. My VMs are Ubuntu. I don't know why I decided to split them up like that, but that's what I've been doing. Rodney says, "Hey, are you still tinkering with Home Assistant? I still have that extra dongle for you." Rodney, I know we talked about that, but I don't remember if you emailed me. Hold on. I don't remember if you emailed me. I am so bad about getting through all of my emails, and I apologize if you emailed me and I didn't respond. I'm working on trying to be better at responding to people in a timely fashion. But I don't remember if you emailed me. Hold on. Rodney, you emailed me. Okay. So yeah, you emailed me about the Zigbee stick in November of 2023, and I never responded. I apologize for that, Rodney. I was dealing with a lot of mental health stuff at that time. It wasn't good. Nighthawk actually emailed me one. In fact, you can see it right there, attached right there. So again, I apologize for not having responded to you. My mental health is doing better, and I'm on some meds that are helping me with that, and some therapy that's helping me with that. So I apologize for not responding to you in a timely fashion. But I've still got your email, as you can see right there, and I apologize for that. I didn't realize I had pushed that button. I am really off today. So I've got your email. I apologize for that. Run Linux Mint. It's one of the easier ones for Windows users to switch. Yeah, I just don't think we're ready to switch her to Linux at this point. Corey Man says, hello, hello everyone, how's it? Doing well, Corey Man. Glad to have you here. I got to sneeze. Man, excuse me. Jason says, I'm almost ready to shed my Windows install on my dual boot. Barely use it anymore. Linux gaming works great for me. Dual boot's a good solution. I agree with that. Jorge says, hi, all. Man, it's jumped around a lot there. Captain Sputnik says, hello from Scotland again. Nice to catch up on another one of your streams. Well, thank you for being here. Yeah, mental health. My mental health was struggling, and it took me a long time to recover. There was just I wasn't addressing it appropriately. So yeah, no, I'm doing a lot better. I found a way to help keep my brain more where I want it to be, with some different techniques and some chemicals and that sort of thing. So. Bad DB, sarcasm, mental health is important. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And I think more people should be willing to work on their mental health. Vaz says, bless you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see. Let me close out some stuff over here. So yeah, so it's been a busy week. It's been a busy month, but this week I got a lot done. If we jump back over to here, like I said, I got, like at this point I've got storage and data sets and shares set up, and that's it. Like I don't have anything under here. Scrub tasks. I guess I've got scrub tasks. That's I don't have any of my backups configured at this point. That said, I'm not worried about it, because my NAS, my big NAS here that's like always on, is where my media primarily lives, and it gets backed up here. So the prox cube, the data that's on this true NAS is already in 2 other locations, still in the same rack, but still in 2 other. So I've got 3 copies of all of my media. So I'm not super worried about backup tasks and that sort of thing on here, because again, this is just being used for storage for my Plex instance. That's literally all it's doing. But now I've got a lot more storage available here. I'm using about half of it currently. And like if you look over here, there was so much stuff going on over here that I was down to like 4 terabytes of available space. And I think there's still some stuff in here that I can clean up. But yeah, so I'm still tweaking a few things here and there. But for right now, this is literally just running storage for my Plex server. I've got no containers running in here at all. I've got no virtual machines. I've got no apps. I've got nothing here. So this will kind of give me a chance to learn some things, I think, with TrueNAS. But yeah, so that's what's going on with TrueNAS. I don't know how far into I'll get. But at this point, like I said, I'm not too worried about it, because I've already got a copy of my media here and a copy of my media here. I'm not flipping you off. Yeah, so I've got 3 copies. I'm not super worried about backup tasks and that sort of thing at this point. Captain, let's see. Let me scroll back up. JD says, listen to someone with mental health problems. I get it. Sometimes we don't see them as an issue. We can help work on. So, yeah, no, it was something I really had to come to terms with. And Captain Sputnik said kind of the same thing. Like I knew there was something, but a lot of it, I had some anxiety, I had some depression, I had some, the stuff that we all deal with, right? But I had an undiagnosed ADHD diagnosis, or whatever, undiagnosed diagnosis, whatever, right? So, and it wasn't until I took some brain damage in 2016 that it started becoming an issue. So I started getting some help with that, and it's been better since then. So Linux has come a long way with the new drivers. It's not as bad for single player. Yeah, I believe that. But the implemented anti-cheat is so terrible, right? Yeah, because devs can't account for every possible combination of configurations. So, like running it in a VM or something will trigger anti-cheat. So there's all kinds of stuff there. Yep, that's it. Yeah, Maddie, you're right. To make matters worse, devs actively exclude Linux gamers. Yep. Let's see. To never judge you. I just get angry with game developers who make everything so hard for end users. Yeah. The biggest thing for me that frustrates me is like, if I buy, let's say I want to play Grand Theft Auto 5, right? I bought Grand Theft Auto 5 through Steam. But in order to play Grand Theft Auto 5 that I bought through Steam, I also have to install the Rockstar Gaming launcher. Because F me, right? And not just me, everybody. But it's like all these games that are like, my wife likes to play Sims, right? But in order for her to get Sims to work properly, even though she bought it through Steam, she has to launch the EA launcher to go with it. And all of these extra launchers just piss me off. Like, I bought it on Steam, let me launch it through Steam. I don't want all your launchers up and running, taking up more system resources while I'm just trying to play my single player game. It's so frustrating. Let's see. Colin says, my current project is using Synology Active Backup for Business on my 918 Plus to back up some of my bare metal Linux hosts. Since they're not PVE, I need a better backup solution. Yeah, backups are such a struggle for so many reasons because there's no consistent way to do it, right? Like I'm still a big fan of Proxmox. I know you're talking bare metal, but even with Proxmox, being able to set up an NFS share, an SMB share, or whatever, and then being able to back up to those shares, I love that. I think that's a great solution. Now that I've tried it out and I understand what other people have been trying to tell me for years, not having to run the extra VMs to do that makes my life a lot easier. So yeah, let's see. JD says, blame EA, Battlefield is the same. Yep, it's actively supported to bash EA. Isn't the Rockstar launcher one of the ones crabbed due to installing the kernel level? Probably. I've only got a couple of Rockstar games that I play, so it's not a huge deal, but it's still a thing. Jason says, agree that launchers suck. Yeah, I hate them. Extra launchers are annoying. It's not possible to disable the launcher. With some games, it is possible to do that. You just got to find you got to go into the launch thing and put in whatever the flag is to disable that. JD says, look at Veeam bare metal, works great for me. That's an idea. Wasn't there some controversy with Veeam a while back? I feel like there was, but I'm not up. I never used Veeam, so I don't know. It's not one of those things that I really stayed up on. So Collins gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, man. I appreciate you doing that. Sven says, I also tested Linux almost every 5 to 10 years or so, but I started with Linux on my servers thanks to DB, then it was done. That's crazy. It often, even now that we've been at this for years, right? Even now when somebody's like, I've got this whole setup and it's because of DB, I'm just like, really, guys? like I genuinely appreciate what you're saying there, but like, I'm gonna go over here and look at videos and sort this by oldest, because like so much of my content is me learning something and then sharing it with you guys. Like, so much of what I do is learning something and then sharing it with you guys. Like, it's gotten to be a bit less of that as time has gone on. But like when I started my videos with self-hosting and that sort of thing, with like Open Media Vault and Open Media Vault 4 and 5, we've been at this for 5 years. And it's still crazy to me that like I started making videos because I had one video kind of blow up with the Fitbit stuff years and years and years ago. And now people are like, oh yeah, I changed my whole setup because of a video you made. And I'm just like, bro, like that's outside the scope of anything I would have done. So you guys are far exceeding what I would do. Like, you guys take my ideas or my little suggestions and really run with them. And I think that's really cool. Some of the stuff I've seen you guys do or talk about as a result of an idea you got from me blows my mind. So I love seeing you guys doing that kind of stuff. JD says it's Veeam. I'm sure there was. Riot Games have an anti-cheat program that needs to run when you start the computer, and it runs at the kernel. Wow, that's sketchy as hell. That just seems like they're putting spyware on your computer so they can monitor literally everything you're doing. Borg Swarm says we use Veeam Endpoint at work for all the local workstations and a few servers, and it's worked great, and it's free. That's interesting. I may have to look at Veeam. Like, I know it's been talked about every once in a while, but I may have to look at Veeam because that's cool. Sven says you have more impact on people than you know. I'm sure I do, and that weirds me out, man. Like that, it genuinely kind of weirds me out that that again, I'm a dude in my garage. Like, my poorly built room in here is where I come out here and chat with you guys for a few hours a week, and it's bonkers to me that my videos get such the reach that they do from so many places. It's still, even being at this for the last five years or so, it still blows my mind when I hear people tell me the things that they've done or the changes they've made because of something I've suggested or something. But you know, like if we look here, this really gets me. Right there, that number blows my mind. We're less than 1,000 subscribers away from hitting the 100,000 mark, and that I can't even fathom that. That just blows my mind completely. I mean, Microsoft and Apple just started in a garage. It's true. Lots of things have started in a garage. I think Paul's Hardware, last time I watched him, he was still in his garage with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I don't anticipate me doing anything differently here. Like, for a long time I was on that wall, and now we're kind of on this wall. We're kind of staring at the door, but you know, it is what it is. Colin says, I'm going with Synology because my DS918 is already my backup server. Plus, it's super easy to then take that data and push it to the cloud with other Synology tools. That's true. Borg Swarm says, I'm so used to everyone around me not caring anything about what I say. I would totally freak out to have a bunch of internet people actually listen. And that's it. That's it, Borg Swarm. Like I don't have any certifications. I don't have any qualifications other than what I've learned as I've gone along. And I've had an opportunity to work with a lot of cool companies. In fact, I've got some content coming from Canonical, the folks behind Ubuntu. They sponsored some content that I need to make. I actually was able to get the hardware that I needed for it the other day, and I'm excited about that. Can't wait to see you open that plaque, dude. I'm really excited and nervous about that, to be completely honest. DB Media, right? Join the Discord. Next step is a he shed for the backyard. You know, I would love to do something like that. Let me see if I can pull this up. The problem that I run into with that scenario. Give me a second. I'll pull it up and I'll show you. I'll show you what the issue is here. Let's go over there. I gotta get this, that, and go over to here. Let's close this. Go over to there. Give me just a second here. This is my backyard. And there's just literally no room for a key shed back there. Back in this corner is a fire pit. We've got our pool here. Can't get rid of that. The trampoline over there. Can't get rid of that. I just put this hammock in right here because the kid got a new bed that takes up a lot more of the space in his room, where he had a hammock set up as a swing hanging from the ceiling. So there's literally no room in my backyard for something like that, as much as I would love for there to be. Yeah, so no opportunity out there to do anything of the sort, unfortunately, because I would love to do something back there like that. Borg Swarm says, my dad calls that kind of learning as the learning of School of Hard Knocks. Yeah, that's how I've done so much of my education and whatnot. Vaz says, certs don't mean anything. I'm tired of having people at work just tell me, or at work that just left university with a fancy degree, that they hardly know anything because book smarts is not the same as work smarts. I agree with that. It was honestly, like, I went to ITT Technical Institute for about a year, and I was paying a significant amount of money to go there per semester or whatever. And then I came to this realization that I could go to Barnes and Noble and buy all of the books that I would need to get the education that I was going to get for a fraction of the cost. And so I quit going. So it was, I realized, because they weren't going to give me certs. They weren't going to, their job placement was garbage. I realized that it wasn't going to work out for me the way I wanted to learn things. So yeah, I went to about a year. I got most of my like preliminary, like reading, writing, arithmetic stuff out of the way, and then realized what they were going to teach me as far as the actual networking degree. I could, and this was like kind of not pre-internet, but like we're talking like 2002, 2003, when I decided to do that. So we weren't, it wouldn't have even been relevant today at all. Keysmart says, Keymaker says, wow, very full. It is. It's kind of a little oasis we've made for the family and the kid, so he can have his space to express himself, because he does some weird stuff. But that's how he is. So now he can go back in the backyard and be as weird as he wants to be, and it's pretty good. So, checked out the Discord. Somehow I can't find where there are some actions. Sven, did you go, like, when you went to the Discord? Did you agree to the conditions? You have to agree to the conditions of the server to get access to all of the server. It's an automated process. So, Seabass or Sebas CM says, have you used Podman? I tried it a little bit. And I know from a security perspective, it's supposed to be better than just using flat out Docker, because Podman is like rootless, I guess. But I haven't done a lot with it. I noticed I was looking at it the other day, for some reason, and noticed some weird stuff that I hadn't seen before. So, but I haven't really looked at it in depth enough to speak on it. Colin says, certs mean you have a base set of information. However, those certs mean absolutely nothing unless they've been acted on practically at some point. Yeah, you can read the books, and you can, in fact, Linus did one a while back, where he did everything and realized it didn't really matter. Like, you just have to know the answers to the way they've worded the questions. And a lot of the questions in some of those certs they don't take into account all of the different possibilities. You're expected to just memorize the scenario and regurgitate what that scenario should have been based on the way it was worded. Not like, are we looking at all of these other factors to get to the end result? It's like, no, we did this step, so that's the answer. And it's not real world friendly. Yeah, the CompTIA A+, yeah, that's the one. Rudy says, thank you so much for sharing your skills. Beyond helpful. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I like to learn new things and find new things and share them with people, to give apps and developers and that sort of thing. I think some recognition, because there's a lot of stuff out there. Like we actually did a video several months ago now, I think, of a very popular, as it turned out, service that had like 20,000 stars, and I'd never heard of it. So it's fun to find. It's fun to find new projects in their infancy and take a look at them in hopes that other people in the community will find them useful and do something with them. So, Jason says, sounds like what I went through in my community college. It was just a gateway to Symantec, a horrible company that's no longer there, right? Took the CompTIA Plus, yep. Yeah, they're pissed at him for that. I don't blame him. But again, I don't blame him for what he did there either. I think it helped show that it's just about regurgitating information and not necessarily having any usable knowledge. Nighthawk says, I got my A plus in 2001 and got my first home automation job in 2003. That's cool. And that was probably helpful in that process. Jason says certs are only good for companies to tell their customers that their staff is certified. Yep. And look, I think there's some practical application to some of those certs to help understand certain things, but without the practical hands-on. Look, my grandmother got her A+ certification in like 99 or 2000. And look, it served her well for the job that she was in at the time, but even now she still reaches out to me to help her with certain things. But what's cool about that is because she's got a fundamental understanding of certain things. Like when she messaged me like, hey, I've got this issue, I don't know what to do. Here's all of the steps that I went through before I reached out to you, which I love. Like when she reaches out to me for tech support, I know that there's actually something wrong because she's competent enough to go through and look for certain things. And I absolutely love, I love that she did that. Good old friend Symantec. I spent 10 years in the mid 2000s in the internet security area as a product manager. Jeez. That in some specific contracts, like government contracts, you have to have a minimum set of certified people. That's true too. But again, the government also asks questions like, does your app connect to my internet when I open it on my phone? So, you know, the government's always had a lot of really dumb people in it, And with the way technology is moving forward at this point, they can't keep up because it's old, crusty white dudes. It's old, crusty white dudes who have no understanding of any sort of technology, just being like, yeah, we're going to make it so you can't pass laws on technology for a decade. Also, these are amazing. Like 5 grams of sugar, 6 grams of dietary fiber. Love them. And they taste really good too. Just enough sugar to make them sweet, but enough fiber to keep you regular. Colin says, oh, that's outstanding. Yeah, no, she's great. Like she reached out to me a while back with an issue she was having on her computer. And I was like, oh yeah, no, you did all the right stuff, but the issue was actually here and we got it sorted in just a little while. And then we chatted for a couple hours and that was nice. I really enjoyed that. Nighthawk says I had to be OSHA 10-hour certified to work in New York. Wow. Borg Swarm says I got my associate's degree in 94 and my A+ in 99. To be honest, either one ever did any form of someone to hire me, but neither have actually helped me. Yeah, so it got you in the door, but didn't actually help is how I'm reading that. And that seems to kind of be the go-to response with a lot of that stuff. Yay, cool. Sven is in Discord. That's awesome. Duke Seb is here. That's awesome as well. Mental, glad to see you here. Vaz says, many of the certs I have, in my opinion, are pointless, but since I do have a lot of jobs for the government, I have to have them. Otherwise, I'm out. And my job's what pays the bills. Yep, that is true. You gotta do what keeps you getting paid. Last time you made a drink recommendation, I added Bloom to my subscription. Yeah, so like, I don't want to get into it too much, but like I've been working on being healthier, eating more whole foods and protein and fiber and all of that sort of thing. And these are just a great way to get more fiber. Like I said, 6 grams per serving. Contains 13% juice. And when I say total sugars is 5 grams, that's from the juice, because only 1 gram is added sugars. Like they're super, super healthy, all things considered. 40 calories, good stuff. Soon to 100,000. Yeah, man, we're getting close. We're at 99.023 or something. 030. Yeah, 99K. And I'm just thrilled by that. I can't even believe that we're there. Back in a couple minutes. Got Uber number 3 off to finish for fishing with his friend. That's awesome. Mario says hello. Vaz says, what's the drink? I've never seen that. I'm in Europe. This is called Olipop. Let's see if I can get a better. Oops, let's turn it the right way. Of course, it's not going to focus. Let's block out stupid here. Will it? It's not going to focus that close up. This is cherry. They've got all kinds of different flavors. The cream soda is really good as well if you like cream soda. But I'm a big fan of the cherry. So we got a 12-pack of that the other day. How many Super Mario t-shirts do you have? At least a couple, I think. I think I actually wore one last week too, and it was just happenstance that I picked this one today. But I think I wore a Mario shirt last week too. I think I've only got those 2. Those are really good, but pricey. Yeah, they're like $2.25 a can or something. And that sucks, but they're really good and they're low sugar, and you don't drink more than one a day. Because if you drink more than one a day, it's going to ruin your evening. That much fiber in a day, if you're not used to it, will ruin your evening. Mental says Olipop cherry soda. That is correct. Yeah, Olipop seems like an American thing. It probably is. It's probably going to give us all cancer or something, but at this point, does it matter? Big fan. Like I said, I've tried some others. This is just one of my favorites. I've tried other brands, but I really like this one the best. So, but the water's great. The water's great, absolutely. But when I drink, it starts to get my mouth dry, which is counterintuitive. So this keeps my mouth lubricated. Did I really close that? Dumb. Let's come over to here. There we go. Cool. So, there it is. That was weird. Let's see. Captain Spudnik says, currently in the process of standing up a Proxmox backup server LXC with an SMB share. Man, it's been a pain. I would not recommend. Man, yeah, I just decided with this new setup to just completely forego the backup server and have an SMB share set up on a couple of different NASAs and have my Proxmox server just back up to those. Adding the LX or the adding the you're saying LXC with an SMB, but yeah, so I was doing everything via VMs on the NAS and just decided to completely change how I was doing that because it was really, really causing me issues I wasn't aware of for a long time. So SMB, it's working out really well for me right now. That's the one. I'm gonna get. Oops. All right, let's see here. Where are we there? Cool. All right. Well, I tell you what. Let's take a quick spin through the Self-Host newsletter. Better to just make PBS a dedicated server. I agreed that is a good way to handle it. If you've got the extra hardware to do it. If you don't, you got to come up with other solutions. So let's take a look over here and take a look at the Self-Host newsletter for a minute. Didn't see the point in PBS. I did the same. Yeah, and I did PBS and VMs. I mean, since I started using Proxmox, And it was literally just like a week ago that I was like, oh, I really can do that via SMB, and it's made things a lot better. Let's see, Plex image Podman desktop, interesting. Now it's a Cloudflare email services, private beta, automatic container updates with Podman quadlets, PostgreSQL 18 released. That's crazy. All right, let's see. Collins is saying we need to look at Glass Keep. All right, this is the one. All right, let's take a look at this. Interesting. I like this. Let's a sleek keep style notes app with markdown checklist images, tag chips, color themes, dark mode, drag and drop reordering, import, export, auth, and a classy UI built with Vite or Vite, I don't know, and React, and a tiny Express plus a SQLite API. I mean, I don't hate the aesthetic. I appreciate that they've got pictures, mobile. I appreciate mobile. Register, login. They've got multi-user. Secret recovery key download, sign with a secret key. Each user only sees their notes. I love that. Collaboration is new, but with real-time collaboration for checklists and collaboration on notes. And they can watch changes sync across collaborators. I love this. Absolutely love that. Let's see. Oh, Mindbend is here. Says, hey, DB. Well, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you being here, hanging out. Let's see. We've got an admin panel. We've got notes. We've got images. Wow, they've done a really, really good job with their documentation here. Docker. Yay for Docker. There. This is what I wanted to see. That's it. You know what? Screw it. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at it right now because I'm curious. I'm going to do an mkdir. We're going to call it Glass Keep. C into Glass Keep. Nano Docker compose.yaml. I know I could just do compose, but it's fine. We're going to delete that. API ports on 8080. Actually, just going to do this. We're going to change this. Great. Let me see what I've got running. Cool. So we'll just do Docker compose up-d. Let's take a look at GlassKeep. Let's see how that goes. PBS is amazing. I hadn't recommend as a dedupe. Dedupe's good. I agree with that. For Proxmox, it's the way to do backups. I agree with that too. But again, doing it in the VMs was screwing me because right now I'm focused on power saving, at least for a little bit. I may change my mind later. Jason says I don't have enough VMs and LXCs to make PBS worth it. Even if it's one, it's enough for me to use. That's fair. A live install, yeah. And we're done, right? Like it's 8080. Hey, look. Let's actually look at the logs on that, though. Let's clear my screen and then do a Docker PS. We'll do Docker logs glasskeep dash. Oops. All right, well, there you go. Nothing going on in the logs, so let's create an account. Create an account. And we're in. Let's see. Is there, interesting. I thought there was an admin panel, list view, sign out, multi-select. Did I miss something? It's entirely possible that I missed something. Oh. Let's see, Docker production. Oh, so we need to go to admin. Not authorized here. Okay, so we need to do this by setting admin. Oh, did I really screw that up? I'm dumb. All right, this is what happens when you don't pay attention. Copy. We're going to do Docker compose down. And then let's see if we can add this after the fact. Or if it has to be done in a certain order. Anyone using glances on Proxmox 9? I'm not. Sven. Oh, right. All right. So let's do a nano Docker compose. Oh, it was right there. Changes to your admin user. All right. Let's see. Let's try that again. Back to there. Really? Sign out. Oops. Admin. There we go. All right, that worked out pretty well. Yeah, I had to log out and log back in. Then it was fine. So that's cool. This also deletes their notes. So from here, you can just review users in here. Let's see, what else did this say? Let's go back up to here. Let's scroll back up. Dockerfile, npm install UI. Wasn't there a whole section about admins? Admin panel. View all users. Delete user. Okay. So it is just for doing that. Cool. I don't hate it. No worries. I would be interested to look at your compose file though, just because I like to see what how other people are doing that. Man, I feel like that shouldn't be available. Like if I'm logged in as that user, I shouldn't be able to delete that account from here. Let's write a note. Let's see, a live stream note. There's a note. Let's see, formatting. Cool. Oh, okay. Tags, note, live stream. Can we add a picture? Sure, let's add that. Click add note. Hey, look, I have a note. That worked out pretty well. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Images, I think that's cool. Archived notes. And then some tags. I would like to see the... Interesting. This is weird. This is weird. Like I said, I don't hate it. But, definitely could use some work, I think. And I say that as somebody who's never actually built an app. So they're farther along than I would be at this point. So I dig it. Yeah, have to give that a deeper look later on. Let's see what else we got over here. Bezel got initial support for Intel GPUs, display connections. That's cool. Docflare. I've actually thought about taking a look at Docflare because it allows you to create tunnels without having to log in to Cloudflare, and I think that's kind of cool. It allows you to have a dashboard locally that pushes them out via an API, and I really dig that. Let's see, this updates multi-host management for agents, remote manual rules, simplified tunnel cleanup, improved caching, Redis now required, full backup restore. So you may have a breaking change there. Formbricks, got Redis and S3 compatible file storage, now mandatory for self-hosted deployments, database, and optimizations. I will never get that right. Kuvaz, public and private uses, status page, arbitrary integration names. What do we have here? I don't know that I've seen this. Maybe I have looked at this. I kind of dig it. I like the aesthetic. I wish that it didn't have the animated thing. I want to look at a screen. I don't want The animated thing is almost as frustrating as no images, because like I can only see something for like a second and a half before. Means guard dog. Cool. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't speak ancient Hungarian. Does this say? Sorry, it just when I that's helpful. When I see these pronunciation keys, no idea what you're talking about. HTTPS monitoring, SSL certificate monitoring, notifications on a per monitor basis. That's cool. What does it say? What we get? Wow. Wait, hold on. Monitoring interval 5 seconds seems like a lot. So we get the notifications: email, Discord, Slack, Telegram, PagerDuty, Microsoft Teams, webhooks, SMS voice call. That's crazy. Google Chat, pushover, Pushbullet, Splunk, and Mattermost are not available. Interesting. See, Colin says, stupid, simple stop and jot tool with a few more features than Dumppad. It's not a primary tool, but it's in the stack. I get that. That makes sense. Bezel Squillet needs to be better integrated with TrueNAS for drive temps. Let's see. Can you set the screen time, say 30 seconds between switches? If you're talking about over on GitHub, that is just, they've got a GIF up there that's flipping through those. Oh, let's see what else we got. Link Warden. New tag management. That's cool. Multi-scrobbler. Music Assistant. Open Gist. Pine Pods. Let's see. Remarkable. Volume updated from docs to notes. This was actually, that's cool. This was actually at least partially from the video that I did a couple of weeks ago about that, where docs just didn't make sense. So I like that they took that into consideration. Yeah, Darkin says notification integration with Notify or Godify would be nice. I agree. That's actually what I was looking for. Big fan of both now that I've used them both. Remarkable made some nice updates. I should take another look at it then. I've got a few different things I need to take another look at. I had developers reach out to me about videos I made a while back. They're like, hey, make changes, and I need to look at it again. Silver Bullet for note-taking, a complete rewrite using Go for smaller footprint, increased performance, Docker image rebased Alpine, which is great. Sync engine re-architecture. Holy cow, they rebuilt everything. That's crazy. Let's take a look over at their website. All right. Interesting. Well, that's good. I'm glad that some of these are getting. Is that a video? Oh, that is a video. I'll have to take a look at that another time. Sweatrix, Web Analytics got an update with a dashboard redesign. Upvote RSS. I need to do more with RSS stuff. I feel like I'm like the only person in the community not using RSS. And I know that I could benefit greatly from using RSS to get notifications on different things, and I just don't use them, and I should. And it bothers me that I don't. Void auth, subdirectory hosting support, OIDC improvements. That's cool. Now, this is my favorite part of this. Almost every week is the new software. I love looking at the new software section here. Crosswatch is for media streaming, so I don't trust YouTube to not poop their pants about talking about that. Dosh, I actually looked at, I think the developer made a post over on Reddit recently about this. It's a simple, clean, An easy to configure services dashboard designed specifically for home labs, built with React.js and containerized with Docker. It provides a central hub to view and manage your home lab services. Version 2 is out with major improvements. All right. Okay, web-based configuration interface @/config. This is what I was wanting to know, because I go back and forth whether or not I want my configs to be web-based or YAML-based. I can't ever make up my mind. So I'm glad to see that that is an option for this. Looked at Upvote RSS yesterday, and it basically takes information from a website and turns it into an RSS feed. That's interesting. I'd be curious about how it does that, but that's an interesting idea. We chatted about RSS in the Discord with Ethan last week. The key is the discipline to review it at the GUI. Yeah, and I think that's part of it. Like, and I feel like I could possibly do that. Like in the morning, this month has been so screwy. I haven't done any of my walking like I did for so long. Like through July and August. September, I just fell off because of everything going on. I want to get back into that. But I feel like if I were to set up... and JD, have fun at Cider Fest with the wife. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze, and it's still there, and it won't do its thing. But I feel like if I were to open my RSS feed and review that while I was walking, I feel like that would be the perfect time for me to do that for the previous 24 hours. So definitely gonna have to consider that. I'll also need to get some RSS feeds to throw in there for different things. But you know, I don't know if I've got the wherewithal. Like I've had Spotify for years. I won't even build my own playlists. For all kinds of dumb reasons in my head. So I think building an RSS feed is very much the same mentality for me. I need somebody else to build an RSS feed for me that I can then at least have a good foundation for. Sorry, my nose is very tickly. So I'm not good at starting my own stuff. Take us outside on mobile and look at the sun. Always that's an actual thing. I think it's mostly effed off, but I wonder. I got this new phone a few weeks ago, and I don't know if I actually got it set up over here. Give me a second. I want to see if this actually. Oh yeah, if I do this, back. No, front. Hey, oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could. And I think I don't have any audio. Wow, that's really choppy. Holy cow. Wow, yeah. Yeah, no audio with that. I haven't got audio set up on that, but that may be a thing we do at some point. Oh, it says audio was fine. Really? I thought there was no audio. Oh, it was farther down in my thing there. Yep, sure was. Well, it was in my little mixture board over here. I had to scroll down to see it, but I'm glad it was still there. But yeah, the audio or the wireless network was a little choppy there. Comma Feed is a great reader. Yeah, I definitely need to do something about that. I feel like I would be more on. I feel like I'd be more up to date, up to speed in real time, if I had an RSS feed set up and working with relevant information in it. Yeah, freezing on the image. Yeah, I'm sure that would have balanced itself out eventually, but yeah. Let's see. Let's come back over here. This is what we were looking at. Dropbox consumer. Monitors source directories and copies files to new destination. Originally designed for paperless NGX. Document management. I feel like that you can't call this Dropbox. Even if you dash consumer it, I feel like somebody's going to have an issue with this being called Dropbox. Right? Yeah, Collins is. Yeah, that's going to need a new name ASAP. Yeah, 100%. That's going to cause issues. I hope they fix that soon. What do you recommend for a good len paste alternative? Man, I'm honestly looking for one of those myself. And I think there's actually one in here. Pasteman. Slate is down here. We'll take a look at Slate here in a little bit. Home Hub, I actually was looking at Home Hub the other day, which I kind of dig. It's your all-in-one family dashboard. In fact, I've actually got it over here. Let me do Docker compose down. And then once this stops, we'll enclosed. Yeah. There we go. Oops. Home Hub. Docker compose up -d. Boo. Doesn't enclosed do other things too? Maybe. Oh, this isn't going to have what I'm looking for. Hopefully. Yeah, this is more, yeah, for sending private and secure notes. Len paste is like, I use it a lot for sharing code and things like that. I'm really sad that len paste's developers kind of not been able to follow up with it as much. But you know, I know stuff happens. Let's do Docker PS on this one. It's on port 5000. Wow, not 8,000, numbnuts. Come on, it's 5. Here we go. Yeah, so I've got select your user and continue. So this is Home Hub. This is what came from like right here. And it's kind of neat actually. So in here, there's actually other stuff in here that you can share as well. But kind of a general family dashboard. Who's away? Dad is away. You can mark yourself as home or away. Let me move. In fact, you know what? Let me just turn my face off for a second here, right? So like over here, you've got your calendar. You can click and see what was going on. I actually just had my HVAC system cleaned out the other day. Real happy about that. But here, you know, you can come in and you can add things going on that day. You can see who is away or who is at home. You know, like I can say that the invalid user for status update. That's funny. Let me refresh that. But anyway, so you can leave notices for people, things up on a dashboard, calendars. You can see who's home and who's away. You can share notes. You can share files. I think some of this is unnecessary. Shopping list. Love the shopping list idea. To do and chores. I think this is great. Recipe book. You can add recipes to this if you want to do that. I would like to see this if it could like pull in recipes, like if you put in the link and have it automatically pull stuff in. I'd love to see it do that. Expiration and expense trackers I think are kind of unnecessary for a family dashboard. But again, you can go in and turn things on and off actually really easily. We do a nano Docker. Oops, what do we have in here? LS? Oh, nano compose, right? Oh, it's actually nano config, right? So you can, there's shopping list, a media downloader, PDF compressor, QR code generator. Those seem unnecessary for a family dashboard. Notes, files, URL shortener, again, doesn't make sense. You can add family members here. You can change the theming, the admin name, put a password on the admin user if you want to do that. But I really dig the idea behind Home Hub. In fact, I think you can even change the name. Yeah, Home Hub. But I love the general idea of what's going on here. You know, if you threw this up on a tablet in the kitchen or the family room or something, so you could kind of keep in touch with everybody if you had a lot of stuff going on. I think this would be very cool to help de-Googleify some of that kind of stuff. I think this is very cool. But there was also home information, and I love the idea behind the premise of this. So a single place for all your home's information. Home information transforms how you manage your property by creating visual, spatial, and central hub for everything about your home. And instead of hunting through drawers, email attachments, and scattered notes, you'll have manuals, maintenance records, device controls, and security monitoring all organized exactly where they belong, visually positioned on a map of your home. I think this is great. I love the idea here. The problem is when I try to run this, it doesn't work. Let me just copy this. Let me do this, right? Let's do Docker compose down. We'll shut down Home Hub. And I've got, if I do a CD into home information ls, let's just do an rmrf everything, right? So we've got Docker, there's Cloudflare tunnels is running right now. So let me make you guys suffer a little bit there. So we can see that only Cloudflare tunnels is running. If I run that, right. So root high, all right, so let's do cd root ls dash a rm rf dot high. Oops. Okay, well, let's just run it here. It's fine, right? Savog says, hey guys, well, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate seeing you here. Hope you're doing well out there. So right now we're deploying, we're deploying home information, which is supposed to be this. And when I tried to deploy it the other day, save your credentials immediately. It says that, but this is also in your Docker compose file. So let's do this. Let's do Docker PS, and we're on port 9411. So let's do this. 9411. Bad request. That's what it tells me is bad request. And if I do Docker logs, actually, you know what? Let me do this. Let me clear my screen. Docker logs f high says, hey, you may need to do this. It didn't give me an option to do that, and that sucks. And it's the issue that I keep encountering every time I try to test this piece of software. It tells me that I may need to do this. But like what I did, this was the quick start, right? It says getting started. You need to make sure Docker is installed and running. It is. Run this, then visit that. The script automatically handles everything. Docker setup verification, secure credential generation, application startup. It doesn't. This is just showing how to set up the different pages. So there seems to be a disconnect somewhere here. The only thing I can think of is maybe it doesn't like the file system that it's on. But I feel like there's something here, right? The result, visit there. That's what we did. So it doesn't make sense that it's throwing this 500 error, or sorry, this 400 error rather, telling me that I need to add this other stuff. This is for manual installation. Before you start, default configuration for simplicity, no user authentication, right? So there's more stuff in here that you can do, but I didn't see anything in here about adding the host to make this work. So I don't know. I was really excited about this one, about this home information, but it just will not deploy for me, and I haven't really put a whole lot of additional information or effort into it. So let's close some stuff out, and we'll just close that. There we go. Home Hub, we looked at Imager Studio, which is a live gallery and live editing web app for creators and professionals. That's kind of cool. Jellycord, Meshmon for monitoring. Tier 1 Media says, I love Self-Host, great website. I agree. Ethan's a good dude. Lots of fun to chat with, super knowledgeable, and built this whole brand, and it works really well for him. Really happy with that. Meshmon is kind of neat. I think we've actually taken a look at something like this in the past. The idea is that when you've got, you basically install this software on each different node and make it communicate with each other, so it can see, like it can actually tell you, like from node 5 to node 2, you know, what's the ping time between them. Like it can kind of, it's self-regulating so that it can give you an idea of what's going on. Thank you very much. So I think this is kind of a neat thing that it can do there. But it's a distributed monitoring system designed to create a resilient network of nodes that monitor each other's health and status. It provides secure, scalable, and extensible peer-to-peer monitoring with built-in cryptographic verification and flexible configuration management. And I think that's kind of a cool thing that it does there. It is tea time. It is now officially 11:30. After last week, I was told that tea time is at 11:30, or right around the time the kid gets lunch, which I super appreciate. But this looks interesting as far as uptime for hardware nodes. I think this is cool. I think this is more about hardware monitoring than it is application monitoring, but I still think it's a very cool idea. Pigeon Pods for podcasts. We'll skip that. Secluso, privacy presenting home security camera solution. Slate, I said we would take a look at Slate, so let's actually do that. Pastes can be uploaded via web or using a curl command. You can set an expiration date, language for a paste, change the theme for the web UI, adjust the font size, enable or disable line wrapping, and you can customize all of this different stuff in the env file. That's what it was, right? In order to get this up and running, you need to install all of these dependencies, and then from the project root, which tells me that you then need to clone this, you can run this. So not super. Look, I'm not saying it's unintuitive to install, but not as streamlined as I would like to see. Savog says, oh my God, it's 7:30 here. Your day is just beginning. Mine's at the end. Yeah. Tea time is at 11:30, like whiskey at 6 p.m. Drink it when you feel like it because it's 11:30 or 6 p.m. somewhere in the world. I agree with that. But again, big fan of tea. I actually had a tea company reach out to me last week. We'll see where that goes. Oh, with the lemon in there, love it. Absolutely love it. So So I think this is an interesting idea, but again, I like an easier install, if I'm honest. Like, give me an install script to do all of this that handles the dependencies. I don't know. Me in wine mode, yeah. I may head that way later today. I've got a bottle of Glenfiddich in there that's a 14-year-old that I may have some later. Let's see, we've got Sommelier, which is an interesting. I would think Sommelier, whatever. The Zero or Theo, I'm guessing it's the Zero. Open source algorithmic trading platform. I don't do trading, so it doesn't really apply to me. To Doom, I kind of like the name of that. To Doom.vercel.app. Let's see. Whew, guys, I am sorry. That is way too much. Add a new task with tags and category. Interesting. We do have a Docker Compose here that we got to build. Uses Pocket Base and a Docker file. Interesting. Huh. Got blinded there for a moment, bro, right? Yeah. Like, I understand that people like light mode for videos and that sort of thing, but sometimes it is just too much. Review this Docker container. You should look at this. Can we? Feels I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I like that we've got this over here, so we can sort by task hashtags or whatever. I appreciate that. Oh, can we also do? Can we edit? Interesting. Hold on. Refresh. Oops. Okay, so if you do, like, you should look at this. Look at. Interesting. Oh, because I did hashtag Docker there. When I do that, it takes the hashtag out. That's an interesting way to do that. I don't like that. Then what if I do this Docker container? Huh. Yeah, I don't know that I like it taking my my ats, my categories and my hashtags out of what I'm writing in there. Sometimes it's just easier to do it inline while you're in that mode. Huh. All right. Well, you know, they're not always going to be built for me. So let's see. We've got Redis in-memory cache, Redis compatible in-memory data store written in Zig. That's cool. If that's what you're into. Bookhaven, ebook management and reading platform. Bookhaven. Part of the, oh, sorry, Book Heaven. Did I read that wrong? I did. I said Haven. It's Heaven. So this is just the server, but apparently this is part of the ecosystem. So server and reader. So apparently you would need to do both if you wanted it to work appropriately. That's cool. More people should read. I should read more. I've been trying. Been working on that with my mental health too. Container Hub, what do we have here? New name for them, maybe. Not another Docker registry UI. So this is just for managing Docker and OCI container registries. But does it let me... registry URL. But does this let me store images locally? Or does this just let me keep tabs on other registries? The UI can be deployed in minutes. Deployment, Kubernetes, registry secrets. When deleting images, Docker registry v2, v3 only marks them as deleted. Disk space is not automatically reclaimed. To free space, run garbage collection inside your registry container. I feel like this should be a button. I feel like there should be a button in here for like garbage collection up here. Just click right there to delete the trash. They should be able to run that as a script via a button. And I'm not saying they won't. I'm just saying it would be nice to see that in the future. But interesting idea. Docker static maps, API for rendering static map images. Interesting. What do we... Oh. Huh. I don't do a lot with maps, so it doesn't apply to me. Flint for VM management. Habit sync. Again, I need to do more of the habit sync stuff. Craig says, evening from Edinburgh. Thank you for joining. Really enjoyed the couple of times I was over there. Had a good time. Went to Fringe. I think I went to Fringe in 2011. Had a really good time there. Yeah, it was a good time. Demos, habit sync, DE. Oh, I don't want to do that. See, all of this animated stuff, man, I don't like it. Don't like it. But there's, let's look through here. Base URL, OIDC providers. Do we have to use one? Quick start for testing. All right, let's see. Moving to the Royal Mile soon, where most of the Fringe stuff is. That's really cool. I had, God, it was a lot of fun. Just getting to see all the performers and all of the stuff that was going on there. It was a really good time. All right. What tracking? All right, let's start. Let's look at this better, more betterer. Clean user interface designed like a normal habit tracker for daily use and quick habit logging. Progressive web app to install directly in your browser. Love that. Mobile web apps builds coming soon. I think it's unnecessary, but I get it. Extensive goal configuration, flexible habit tracking with customizable goals and frequencies, variety of habit types, daily, weekly, monthly, or custom intervals. I love that. Social and sharing features, shared habits to track progress with friends and family. Monthly challenges with community voting and leaderboards, achievement system with medals for top performers, progress comparison to stay motivated together. We've got flexible authentication for built for sharing. Jeez, I can't read. We've got an SSO. We've got multi-user support, combines several SSO server with public provider for external users. Optional user approval required for approving new users per issuer. That's kind of cool. Let's see. Craig says, had a great week, especially the launch of the new Raspberry Pi 500 Plus. I've done exactly zero research on it other than I saw that it launched. Colin says, the only reason for a dedicated app is if you need notifications for that app. Otherwise, I agree. If the service has a great PWA, I definitely changed my tone on that one. Yeah, no, I think PWAs are the way to go. It's so much less work. Let's see, 16 gigs of RAM in a keyboard, also going to add HDMI transmitter and receiver, so can have keyboard on my table and the TV meters away. That's cool. That's really cool. Savog donated a membership. Thank you so much for that, man. Super appreciate it. I think the thing that I'm biggest confused about here is the authentication. I'll have to deploy this. I love that it's got the Apprise integration for notifications, custom notification schedules, smart triggers with customizable configurations. Love all of that. Dark mode, light mode. Man, that's really neat. That's really neat. I'm gonna have to take a look at this because I really need to do better about certain habits. Again, the walking is a big one I need to get back into. I did really well for 2 months and fell off in September because we had so many house guests. But other things as well, you know. Damn it, come on. Dude, stop. Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna take a look at this. Maybe we'll come up with something to do with that. We'll use the Raspberry Pi 500 to connect my homelab anytime I want, as it can stay on 24/7. I just changed the HDMI source via remote control. That's pretty cool. Gearling, of course, Gearling did a Pi video. That is his bread and butter for the most part. And he does it so well. He does it so well with the ARM stuff. Whether it's the Ampere or the Raspberry Pi, he is so good with the ARM stuff. And then automated music discovery and collection manager. Well, there's that. So that is the Self-Host newsletter this week. Took a look at some things. There's definitely some stuff in there that I want to take a look at in more depth. Oh man, excuse me. That was after 2 cups of coffee too. But yeah, definitely some stuff in here to take a look at. If you haven't already, you should definitely subscribe to the newsletter. There's a link to it in the video description here. DB Tech needs, no, I mean, he does, but it's not going to happen. I got stuff to do. This is going to sound dumb. I've been trying to force myself to play video games. Not because I don't like to play video games. I love to play video games, but I'm trying to force myself to play them and not feel guilty about it. So I'm working on that. So I'm gonna find something to do. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to get done today, and I don't remember what it was. My homelab is working. My automations are working. Backyard. Man. I know there was something else that whoa, did I lose you guys? Are you guys, am I still here? Did we crap out? Okay, awesome. Nope. What in the hell? That's really strange. Okay, you can hear me. Video froze. Man, okay, let me try this. We're gonna go here. I'm gonna deactivate and reactivate. Maybe. There we go. All right. Just had to reset the camera. All right. Well, thank you guys. I just happened to look up and saw that I wasn't moving, and I thought, well, that's weird. So I'm glad. All right. All right. All good now. Good, good, good. Glad to hear it. Very cool. That's strange. All right, there. I'm glad that was weird. I'm glad it was an easy fix. I was almost afraid that I was going to have to like restart the stream or whatever, but just deactivating and reactivating seemed to do the job. So really happy about that. Still here. Yep. Good stuff. Let's see, what else? What else do we have going on? Yeah, so like I said, I've got a collaboration coming up with Canonical about a project that they've got, and I'm super happy to be working with them on that. I actually chatted with them a bit last year, and then things kind of fell through. I think it was just the person I was chatting with left the organization, but now they've paid me half of it up front, so I think they'll be a bit more on top of things. But some fun stuff coming from them. I've got a couple of hardware things coming up for review that I need to get done this week or in the next week or so. And then more containers, lots of content. But now that everybody is kind of cleared out of the house, I've got more flexibility to do some of that. Was chatting with the wife about it last night. We were sitting on the porch, having a beer, just kind of relaxing. And she's like, I know you got a bunch of stuff, so I'm going to try to like give you some space this week to get caught up. So I'm going to try to take advantage of that and get some stuff done this week. Because this month has been just crap as far as putting out content, and I hate it, but you got to roll with the punches a little bit, and I'm just glad that I've been able to do the live streams and that sort of thing. She is a good one. I agree with that. She's been amazing. Glad to have met her when I was 10. So she's a big chunk of the reason why I've been able to do this channel, to build the community that we're building. She's a big influence behind all of that, because she afforded me the opportunity to do that while everything was going on. So super thankful to have her in my corner and working with me as a teammate as we're going through all this. So man, yep, cheers indeed. Oh, here he comes. Gonna go jump on. Oh, you're gonna go hang out in the new hammock, aren't you? Yeah, I set up the hammock yesterday. He was actually in the front yard and saw me go to the backyard or something, went to his bedroom, looked out, saw what I had done, and immediately just came barreling out. I had to get in the new hammock, so I'm pretty sure that's where he's headed right now. We may have to get a table for right there.
For next to the hammock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, no, he's digging that. It sits pretty low, but I think he'll be all right. Oops, geez, don't do what? Why are we doing that? Don't do that. So yeah, no, he's gonna do that. It may eventually get warm enough for him to do the sprinkler or something, but I don't know. Oh, Bob from Wick says your channel was one of my primary go-tos when I started home labbing. Well, thank you. I'm glad to know that. Again, it's bonkers to me. How many people have watched my content, who have subscribed, who have been part of the community, who have joined the Discord, who joined the live streams. Like I remember my first few live streams, 4 or 5 people maybe, and now now those numbers are going up, and that's really neat. I try to be super consistent with the live streams as much as I can. I mean, I try to be consistent across the board, but even if I can't get a video out because of whatever reason, I still try to do the live stream, because all I've got to do is the best I can with this and turn on the camera, and I can chat with you guys and we can talk about stuff, whether it's the newsletter or whether it's not. And I love that we can hang out and we can chat about self-hosting and about life and those sorts of things, and that sort of thing. It really does mean a lot that you guys are kind of along for the ride, and it genuinely means a lot to me. Again, we're getting close. We're at 99,030 subscribers here on the channel. So in the next probably month and a half, we'll hit that 100K mark, and that's bonkers to me. Savog says, what kind of camera software and camera do you use? So, man, it's changed a little bit recently. So Right now I'm using, like, the camera that I'm looking at you right now with is the Elgato Facecam Pro. I just picked that up a couple of months ago, or about a month ago, I guess. A few months ago, I switched to the Elgato prompter. I had something else that was just, it was more frustrating than it was anything else. So right now, this is the Elgato prompter and the Elgato Facecam Pro that we're looking at. Prior to that, I was using this. It's a Panasonic Lumix G7 was the camera that I had up here. But I wanted to be able to use this camera for other things. So I picked up the Facecam Pro and I spent some time kind of tweaking the colors. And I'm pretty happy with, I'm sorry, I'm looking at myself over here. Vaz, thank you so much for your gift, your 5 gift memberships there. Really appreciate it. So I spent a couple of weeks tweaking the aesthetic and the lighting and the settings on the camera to get this, again, to look the best that it can. The software I'm using is OBS, just straight OBS. There are other things that I could use, but this is free. I was using something else whose name escaped, Meld. I was using Meld for a while because it allowed me to dual stream for free. But then I realized the Twitch thing just wasn't, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, so to speak. Oh, for your surveillance. Oh, I gotcha. For the surveillance, I'm using Unify. I've got, in the backyard, I've got the AI Pro, and then I've got a couple of G4s, through, like, one in the house and one on the front porch. I'm using the G4 stuff. It's all Unify. And I've been really, really happy with all of it. It just works, and it's been great. So, is it compatible with Home Assistant? It is, yeah. In fact, I can show you some of it anyway. If I go to cameras, yeah, like I can show you this. I think this is safe to show. Can I move that? I can't. Can I? Oops. Let me do this. So like this is my Home Assistant right now, right here. I think probably the Reolink is the better way to go, if I'm honest. I think it's more universally sort of plug and play with a lot of different things. The Unify stuff is great, but I think the Reolink is more universally compatible with different things. And I say that, like, Reolink, or not Reolink, Unify sent me my cameras, Reolink has not. So, yeah. So Reolink is probably the more practical way to go. Let's see. Yeah, and not super pricey, very reasonable and priced. Often go on sale. Yeah, in fact, I need to reach out to them about something. But yeah, so yeah. Big fan of the Unify stuff, for the record. It's great stuff. Had a lot of great success with it. It's just very easy to use. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I wanted to cover that I forgot about. Anything in here? Okay. Just some of the comments I get sometime are just like, was that comment really necessary? Like, not necessarily in a bad way or whatever, but I did a video a couple of years ago. I made like a full video on every step of setting up a Cloudflare tunnel that goes from everything from buying a domain to all the way up to having a Cloudflare tunnel working on that domain in your home lab. Had somebody the other day complain that videos called Cloudflare tunnels make it about that, not your server choice, and a lot of talk about why you would buy an effing domain name. The title of the video is Cloudflare Tunnels, Getting Started with Domains, DNS, and Tunnels. Like, it's always been that from the time I launched the video, and the thumbnail is like Cloudflare Tunnels, full setup. And he was pissed off that I went into too much detail. Like some of the comments, man, that I get. Jan, thank you so much for that gift donation, or the membership donation. I appreciate it. Let me see if there's anything else in here. I think. I made another one. I made a video years ago about how to upgrade a Chromebook hard drive. Right? Like, and it was showing the process of exchanging or changing out a Chromebook hard drive, and somebody's like, terrible video. Just say which M.2 it is, 2230, 2224, 2460, or is this specifically an SSD, or is that an NVMe? I don't know. All Chromebooks are different. Some Chromebooks you can't upgrade. Like, the amount of spoon feeding that people need sometimes is just mind-boggling. Like, not everything is identical. Some things have to be different. Some things are different whether you want them to be or not. I can't say every Chromebook is going to take a 2242 NVMe. Even if it does, I can't say that they all do. Sven, yeah, some people should just be grateful that people make video about, yeah. You know, it's just some of the silly comments that I get. Like the good comments that I get way outweigh those, but then on the flip side, like I made one about using Cloudflare DDNS, and somebody was like, hey, you had to make a couple of changes to the compose, but the guide was great, thanks. I love people that can extrapolate information and you know, and actually get things to work. So somebody complaining that somebody else complained about dark mode in videos. So somebody else they were mad that I switched to light mode. They had to close the video and couldn't watch because I used light mode. They're still subscribed, so I guess there's that. Borg says that's why I don't make videos mostly. Yeah, look, I get it. It can be daunting to put content out. Like even still doing live streams, like I sit here for like 5 minutes before I push the go live button. I take a deep breath and I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this. And like I kind of have to psych myself up a little bit. Even doing the live streams that I love. So it's, you know, it's, and somebody. But Sven says, but one bad message can make a lot of damage. And you're not wrong. Like, it doesn't affect me nearly as bad as it used to. Now that I've been actively working on my mental health, it's been better. I used to be just an awful person in replies to comments. And now I give the most basic answer I can when I feel it's necessary. If somebody is too outlandish, I will mute them so their comments never show up again. those comments that just make you want to reply, why don't you use your brain and go figure it out for yourself? That's the kind of stuff that I try not to do anymore, because I used to do that with a lot of expletives in there. So I try not to do those things unless somebody is truly nasty in the comments. I try to be, I'm trying to be a better person than I used to be. There absolutely is a time and place for the retaliatory comments, but I try to not as much as I can. Peter says, hello, good evening from Norway. Glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Sven says, did I miss something important? Just home. Hello from Belgium. That's awesome. I mean, you know, just 2 hours. It's fine. No, we spent the last couple of hours mostly talking about the Self-Host newsletter, some of the stuff in there, the big changes that I made in the rack behind me for some consolidation and power management stuff, power savings more than anything. Definitely going to make a video on what I did back there. In fact, I've actually got some footage of some of that video, or I've got of some of that already. Let me make sure this is turned down, because I don't remember. Those are off. That is in the reverse order, isn't it? 14, 16, 16, 1604. Yeah, so. Oh yeah, right here. In fact, you can probably see it. Hopefully you can see that. That's what when I had both the HL15 and the Xeon Cube running with all of the NASAs and whatever, about 450 on that. And then I moved everything that was here to here. And then, oops, yeah, there we go. Oops, let's come back up to here. This is still running 24/7. And then up at the top, I've got these just turning on sometimes. But managed to get it from like that 470 mark to about 230, I think. Let me come down and see if I've got it. Yeah, about there. 245, you know, so there you go. So that video is coming soon. I really need to clean in there. I'm a disgusting human being. We'll just watch a replay about your Docker. You're correct in not replying. I agree with you. Guess it's the small devil on my shoulder pushing me. Dude, it's rough. It's absolutely rough. And it took me a long time to not just lash out. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I will write out what I really want to say, and then I'll delete most of it and reword it. So at least I got out what I wanted to say, but then I'll reword it so I'm not quite as vitriolic. The desire to tell folks to F off must be strong. It took me years. It literally took me like 3 or 4 years to not. Like, I was a pretty awful person in my comments for a while, and I'm trying to do better. So yeah, but I absolutely still have moments where I'm just like, you know, screw you and your entire family, and I hope you all get STDs, but I don't say those things. So, but I'd really like to, but no. So despite everything, I've been trying to be productive back here, so I can create some content. I need to actually swap out some hardware to make some content. Maybe we can do that next week. What do you say? Yeah, and your dog too, right? Maybe next week for the upcoming video that I've got coming up. We'll transfer. Maybe we'll do some hardware stuff next week. Because basically I've got 3 mini PCs I need to swap drives in, and I need to install some operating systems. Maybe that'll be next week. Maybe we'll do that. We'll chat while we're setting up 3 instances of Ubuntu server on 3 separate mini PCs after swapping out some hard drives. Maybe we'll do that next week. That could be fun. We can just have a good time of it and that sort of thing. When I get angry, I use AI to help me write a reply. I've done that more than once. I've absolutely taken like their stupid comment and put it in AI. And I'm like, here's the comment that I got. Here's how I kind of want to respond. Make me not sound like a jerk. And then it will spit something out, and I'll read through it, make sure I agree with everything, and either send that or modify it a little bit. Borg Swarm says, man, I had a coworker who knew me really well sitting on the other side of the cube wall. I'd get mad and just start typing, and she knew my normal typing patterns. She'd be like, yeah, she'd yell, don't send that. Dude, my wife does that. She's like, who are you arguing with now? So yeah, I absolutely, having, all three of our keyboards have Cherry MX Blues. Go get your snack. Go, whatever, man. Go do your thing. So she knows when I'm angry typing, and she will call me on it. And that is a good coworker. I agree. Yep, it's therapeutic to type what you want to say and then delete it. I've watched you for almost 2 years. Never seen you do something unbehaved. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was a struggle for a really long time. But you know, it takes time, it takes practice, it takes that initial hump. You got to get over the initial hump of anger and self-doubt, and you got to get over that part first. And once you do that part, it gets progressively easier. But it's not to say that there aren't still bad days. And typically on those days, I find something else to do, something physical. I will go build something. I will go clean something. I will rearrange something to focus on that. Let my body get the aggression out physically by moving stuff around or whatever, and then let that anger, let that comment or whatever it was, kind of spin its wheels in the background, and then I can come back with a much clearer head and a better response. But you know, it's a process, and I had to go through my own process, and everybody's process is different. So I'm always working on trying to do better, be nicer, be kinder, be more understanding. Because here's the thing, right? Like, you know, when I look through comments, or I see stupidity out in the world, right? That is only relative to me, right? What I see out there, what I think is stupid, may be completely rational for the person doing it, because that's where they are in their life and their mental health and their whatever, right? When I'm doing the things I'm doing, there are people higher up in the evolutionary enlightenment journey who see what I'm doing and think, wow, that guy's an idiot. Why would you do that? You know, so we're all in different levels of that mental health enlightenment path. Wow, you're nuts, dude. Go ahead, man. Anyway. So, you know, we're all in a different path. We're in a different place. We gotta figure out what works for us, and try not to judge people too much along the way. So, I've installed a lot of helper scripts on LXCs. What's the best solution to keep them up to date? I've searched. There's actually a helper script for that. And a lot, so that's, I say that it's two parts, right? Let me do this. View scripts. Hold on, I want to. So some of them will say something like this. Some of them will say updatable, and others won't. I don't know which others won't. Like maybe this one. Oh, that one is. And you might have a valid point there. The one I'm thinking of might only do. It might only do the LXC. I don't know. Do you just run it again and to see if it updates? Because a lot of them will actually be updatable from like inside the app, like Home Assistant, for instance. like gets like my if I could get my words out. Let's do this. Let's do prox cube. That's fine. Like Home Assistant here was installed as a community script, and when I go to Home Assistant, the updates happen with inside here, right? Like all of my updates are here, the things I need to do. So I think it's going to depend on the helper script as far as how it's updated. You know, like I think I actually did my AdGuard Home. I feel like at some point I had an AdGuard Home in here that was done via a helper script. But I think a lot of these are upgradable or updatable from within the app itself. Like I said, this is all the core, the operating system, all of that is updatable from within the LXC's application, even though I installed it this way. But as far as the others, I'm not sure. I think the only ones that I currently have that are Proxmox Data Center I did as a script, but like everything else I have just done manually-ish. Yeah, some can and some cannot. Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to a minute ago before I got myself sidetracked again, is that it depends on the LXC as far as how it's going to be handled for updates. And I think each one is going to be different. You're going to have to figure out what that looks like for each one. Can I zoom? Oh, there we go. Bezel is updatable. Yeah, like from here. No, that's not the one I wanted. Let's actually go here. It was Home Assistant's the one I wanted. Right, so I do log in, and it logs me in. Can I just do update? No. Exit. Update. Yeah, I don't know. Almost all the scripts updates from the LXC itself. I was hoping to GUI. Yeah, but I don't know. Like I've only got like the data center manager. This LXC is going to go away now that I literally don't need it anymore. I'm just actually going to stop it now. But yeah, like I've just got Home Assistant running as, I think that's really the only one that I've still got running as as a helper script, is just a Home Assistant, and it just gets updated from inside. So I don't know. You have to figure it out on a per script basis. So yeah, yep. Oops, geez, making noise. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, I think next week, if you guys want to join me, what we're gonna do is what we're gonna do next week is let me do this. We're going to take, you stay there, please don't fall. These 3 mini PCs. We've got a B-Link SE something. What is this? Doesn't even say what it is. Anyway, we're gonna swap out. We're going to swap out the hard drives in these. We're going to put a boot drive and a storage drive in each one of them. We're going to install Ubuntu Server, probably 2404, unless 2504 is out. We're going to install Ubuntu Server on all of these as prep for an upcoming video. And I think that'll be fun. We can hang out and do that. because that's something I need to get done. I've been putting it off for a bit. I've had the storage for like a week now. So we're gonna throw some storage in here. We're gonna install some operating systems in here, and we're gonna chat while we do it because that seems to be a good time for everybody. So again, thank you guys for hanging out and supporting what we're doing here, helping me build the community, because this is definitely a collaborative effort with everybody here. So it'll be same time next week. Unless something catastrophic happens, it'll be 10 a.m. Mountain Time if you're in the United States. For the rest of the world, it'll be 4 p.m. or 1600 UTC, unless the time change happens between now and then. Anyway, UTC -6, 10 a.m. And we're gonna do some stuff. So again, thank you guys for your continued support and your hanging out and that sort of thing. I appreciate all of you. And again, content coming here again real soon and a new live stream next week.